I made a huge mistake coming out here. Hey everyone, Angus Wong here, and tonight's video is going to be a little bit different because first of all, I forgot my mic, so hopefully you guys can hear me. Second of all, I'm actually at a dark site on Page Mill Row in Palo Alto, and the reason why I came here is because there's a very popular summer target that I've been trying to succeed in, but I've had maybe 4 or 5 times trying this target and I haven't had a chance to get it done. So tonight, if you guys see this video, it will be my final attempt at the very popular summer target, Rho Ophiuchi. So, Rho Ophiuchi is a target near the galactic core of our Milky Way galaxy, and is actually relatively low to the horizon, which makes it very difficult to image, to be honest. And I hope that tonight, by going to the dark side and not using any filter at all, I'll be able to do it justice, because usually when you image reflection nebulae, you really don't want to use a filter, because that same filter that was designed to block out a lot of the city light pollution will also block out a lot of the natural lights coming off of the reflection nebulae. Now, a little bit about Rho Ophiuchi. There's a bright star called Antares. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Other people call it differently, but it is that bright yellow star that will illuminate a lot of the yellow dust in that region. There's also a little bit of blue reflection nebulae, a little bit of hydrogen alpha, which I hope my Astro Modify HA hydrogen alpha modified camera will pick up. And for tonight's session, I'm actually going to be using my long retired, long shelved Rokinon 135. The reason why I'm bringing it back out is because I finally have a way to balance it, thanks to a good friend of mine who told me about a basically a quick release plate that I can use to change the position of my camera body so I could actually properly balance the declination axis. And yes, I'm wearing pajamas in a dark site. There's nobody here. Who cares? So you might be wondering, why am I not using a telescope, instead using a Rokinon 135mm at f2.0? Well, first of all, if you're into astrophotography, then you've probably heard of the Rokinon on the Samyang 135 as one of the best budget camera lens for astrophotography, and it's by no accident. For whatever reason, this Rokinon / Samyang camera lens is extremely sharp, extremely well color balanced, and extremely well priced. And I purposely chose the 135mm focal length just because I personally like to capture Rho Ophiuchi in its entirety, as well as a little bit of, random space and dust surrounding the area, because I think that when you fill up the image with just one target and the entire image is that one target, you sort of lose perspective of where it is in the night sky. You sort of lose perspective of just how massive the sky is. And so, if everything goes to plan, then I'm going to have Rho Ophiuchi in the middle, a little bit of random space dust out by the side, and I think that's going to look really cool. And one thing about this Rokinon or Samyang 135mm is that most people that I've heard, they don't shoot it at wide open because even though this is a well-corrected camera lens, at wide open you're going to get all kinds of artifacts, chromatic aberrations, random nonsense. So my plan tonight is to stop it down to 2.8 because that's what the internet says. So I'm just going to do that.
One stop is like, it's not even.
So a quick edit. I was quickly corrected by my friend that I should be going down 2 stops. 2.8, 4.0, something like that. Obviously, I know nothing about photography. I just point things at the sky and hope things work. So, before I continue on with the video, I do want to say something about, coming out to a dark site. The first time I came to a dark site was last year, Comet Neowise. And by the way, I hope you guys can hear me because I don't have my mic with me, so I'm literally yelling so that the camera will pick up my voice. But going to the dark site, you want to make sure that first of all you've got all of your equipment, so double and triple check your bags. Most importantly, double and triple and quadruple check all of your batteries, all of your memory cards, any lens warmer that you're going to bring. Let's see what else is there. Yeah, because once you're out here, it takes one forgotten item to essentially ruin your entire session and make you pack them and go home. So you really want to make sure that you've got everything in your bag. And secondly, I don't know about you guys, but I personally don't like to come out here all by myself because when I hear, things moving through a bush, I get scared. I don't know what's behind there. And so whenever possible, definitely come out here with some buddies, some friends, because number one, you have a companion. Number two, it's a lot less boring. You have somebody to talk to. And most importantly, I'm laughing at my friend over here. Most importantly, it's really a great time to just sit back underneath a nice sky and just enjoy each other's company and talk about astrophotography or talk about anything else that's on your mind. One thing I will say is that please do not bring any music to a dark site because I wish that everyone will find some peace and serenity just underneath the silence of the night sky. Okay, this bar is in the way. I'll talk like this. Yeah, this will work. So, I do apologize that this video was going to be very unstructured. If I'm ever going to make a vlog video, this will probably be the structure of it, where I just set up, image, and talk about stuff. Hopefully you guys will like that. So I do want to talk about a little regarding Rho Ophiuchi and how to find it. So behind me would be the direction of south, and that's generally where the Milky Way core would be. It sort of rises from southeast to south, and then it'll sort of taper down towards the western horizon. So I've already got my camera sort of pointing that way, and I've already balanced it as best as I can. Actually, this is pretty good balance. So yeah, now I just need to wait for it to get a little bit more dark and do my polar alignment, and then wait for complete darkness and image underneath this awesome and supposedly Bortle 5 skies. So tonight is actually not the most optimal imaging condition for a reflection nebulae such as the Rho Ophiuchi, because what you're looking at here, if I can point it, right there, that is the moon, and that looks like 50% full moon, and it's also in the direction of Rho Ophiuchi. But I don't really have a chance. I don't really have a choice, because either I shoot tonight or I will pretty much say goodbye to Rho Ophiuchi, because it will be dipping way too low below the horizon earlier and earlier. So wish me luck. A little bit of an update. I made a huge mistake coming out here because I forgot to bring batteries for my Star Adventurer Pro. And now I'm trying to find a way, with the help of my friends, to keep my Star Adventurer Pro powered on using USB power bank. I have one so far, and it didn't work because the Star Adventurer Pro doesn't draw enough of a current to keep the power bank on, because they're designed to turn off when not enough power is being drawn. So yeah, I gotta figure something out. Otherwise, my final attempt at Rho Ophiuchi, this will be it. Okay, a little bit of a quick update. I may have a solution for my stupid and forgetful battery problem. I forgot to bring my batteries for the Star Adventurer Pro. Luckily, the Star Adventurer Pro has a way to use alternative power source. The problem was that my USB power bank would not stay on because the Star Adventurer Pro draws so little power that the algorithm within the power bank just thought that there's nothing there, so it turned itself off. So the solution for me is to use one of these second battery USB power bank that I have with two outlets, so that one outlet is plugged into the Star Adventurer Pro. Once again, by itself, it will turn itself off because this is not drawing enough power to keep this on. But the second outlet is plugged into my camera. My camera will draw enough power to tell the algorithm in the power bank to keep itself on. So when I turn on my camera, my USB power bank will stay on, and right now it is powering my Star Adventurer Pro. So I think I solved the problem, but this goes back to what I was saying earlier in the beginning of the video, that when you go to a dark site, bring extra of everything. It's always good to have redundancy, and I'm glad I have redundancy here. So hopefully you guys can see this, but Rho Ophiuchi, it's right around this area, because this yellow star right here, that would be Antares, and it's always this little star pattern that looks like a hand, a three-finger hand. Here's the wrist, and these are the three fingers. So that's how I find Rho Ophiuchi. Okay, guys, new problem to report. Remember that moon that I was talking about earlier? That 40 to 50% moon? Well, it may only be 50%, but it sure is a whole lot brighter in your camera. So my plan right now is to do really short exposure because the moon is way too bright. I'm thinking like 30 seconds exposure, even at the lowest ISO. And then when the moon sets, which I think will set at around 1 a.m. Right now it's not even 10 yet. So I think oh my God, I got 3 hours of moonlit shots. Okay, 3 hours of moonlit shots. And then about at 1 a.m. I'm going to switch to a different exposure for when the moon finally sets. Oh god, that means I have 2 sets of darks. Yeah. Astrophotography, y'all. Alright. So a little bit of an update. Because of how bright that moon is, the images that I'm taking right now, they will be 30 seconds, ISO 800. I'm gonna check on it every half an hour or so, just to see if my focus is still on point, see if I get any star trails. But at 30 seconds, I don't think I'll see any star trails. And the plan is that later on tonight, I'll switch to a longer exposure once this moon sets. So that's my plan. I don't know how much detail I'm going to capture with just a 30-second exposure on Rho Ophiuchi. I think it's going to be a long night. But hey, that's why we do astrophotography, right? Let's go! To give you an idea of the problem that I'm running into tonight with the moon, let me demonstrate. The moon is right here. Antares is right here. So that means Rho Ophiuchi is right here. So as you can see, the moon is basically shining right into Rho Ophiuchi until 1 a.m. I really don't know how much of a detail I can get from just a 30 seconds exposure, but I can't go any longer than that. If I go any longer than that, my photo will be washed out. But yeah, that's how close they are. Hey everyone, just a quick update. As you can see behind me, it's completely dark because the moon is gone. So that means I can start my second series of exposure. Right now I'm doing the darks for the first set at 30 seconds. And then I'll move on to the second set of exposure, which I haven't figured it out yet. But it's about 12:30 a.m. right now. This night sucks. Okay, so I'm just starting my second set of exposure on Rho Ophiuchi, and I've managed to increase the exposure by another 20 seconds, so hopefully I can get some more detail now that the moon is gone. So this will be my first time mixing 2 different sets of exposure in the same target on the same night. If I post this video, then I somehow succeeded. If I don't, then I screwed it up. So wish me luck. So I'm starting my second set of exposure. As I mentioned earlier, I was able to add another 20 seconds, giving me a total of 50 seconds exposure, ISO 800 at f2.8. Hopefully that will give me a good amount of details for Rho Ophiuchi. But while this is going on, I think what I want to say is that when you're going out to a dark site, you kind of have to plan ahead and pretty much prepare for the worst that can happen. In my case, I was being an idiot and I completely forgot to bring my batteries. Luckily, I have people with me that will supply me with spare parts. And so that's why it's always good to go out with people, because, you know, when you run into problems, you can help each other out. But either way, you should try to pack and plan for the worst. I know that's not a very positive way to look at visiting a dark site, but it's better to be safe and have your image session continue on than to have it completely ruined, where you show up, you set up, you find out something is missing or something isn't working, and then you pack up and go home. So try to go with a buddy or a few buddies, and yeah, plan for the worst, because most of the time it'll happen. Sometimes there's no replacing the beauty of a dark site, whether it is the silence in the air or the insect sounds that you hear, the crickets, and just the serenity of being out here. if any of you guys have a camera and you have access to a nearby dark site, I highly recommend you just come out here and make a night out of it, because if you do, I guarantee you'll be hooked onto this hobby. And until next time, clear skies.